Hey, babes. I'm so excited you're here for this next episode of my podcast. We're going to talk today about the biggest thing I hear from people all the time is motivation. How do I get it? Where do I get it? Can I buy it? Can you bottle yours up? Can you give it to me? Well, I can't do that, but what I can do is share with you my own perspectives, my own thought processes, the things that I do, the experiences I've had that have gotten me to where I am today. And again, I am not an expert in this. I'm just a normal mom, wife, human person who is taking my own experiences and sharing them with you. Because what I've found is that when I got really curious, it was something that has propelled me into the person I am today. And I absolutely love my life. There are days when I'm like, damn, I wish I did better in this and this and this. But most of all, I went from being a very shy, quiet person who was very confused and felt very lost to I feel like I'm a very confident person these days. And I feel like I am really crushing life most days. And that is a really, really good feeling. And so I want to share with you a little bit about what I do and really help you think a little bit outside of the box and hopefully take action for yourself. Because when you realize, and this is really, really hard to hear, but when you realize that no one is coming to save you, your whole life will change. Stop waiting for someone to come into your life and make your life better. Because it happens with you. It happens with your mindset, with you making the decision to want to change. And then what's going to happen is people will come into your life and it'll click different. You're going to hear things differently that you're like, yeah, that's awesome. You could listen to this podcast today, and then you could listen to it 3 months from now and hear something completely different because you might have changed. Your mindset might have changed. So think about that every day. There's always that activity, and you guys have probably seen the gorilla with the basketball. And basically it's like, watch this video, and then you're like, show me how many people were wearing a black shirt. And you're like, oh my God, I got this. There were 7 people. And then it's like, now, did you see the gorilla? And they're like, what are you talking about? I did not see a gorilla at all, because you were focused on one thing. You were focused on the black shirts instead of focusing on the big picture. That is nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, what that does is it pigeonholes us into thinking in one way. And so I'm here to help you hopefully get out of that and think a little bit differently. So I just want to share, I didn't get here by playing small. Yes, I did as a young girl. I was, like I said, I was very confused, but I got here because I thought, if she can do it, why can't I? So if that mom can do it and she's doing it really well, why can't I? Or if that wife is like killing it, able to make dinner, like whatever it was that you were like, why can't I do that? I think, why can't I do that? Because it's me, it's my own limiting beliefs. So I got to this place where I am today because I was hungry. And I'm not talking about hungry for food, because I am actually always hungry, but I was hungry for change. I was hungry for a life that was better than the one I was born into. I take struggles and use those as my motivation. And I also have to preface that my family and my upbringing was absolutely amazing. I had wonderful parents. We had so much love. We just didn't have a lot of money. And so I use that to fuel me today to try to be the best person that I can. I was this homely little girl. I lived in a trailer twice. Again, not proud of it. Also, sorry about the dogs barking if you can hear them. I've been so poor that I had to literally feed my family off of welfare and WIC. And while I don't ever want that again, I don't ever want that. I take that opportunity and I use that to motivate me to never want to go back to that place. So I'll tell you this, is if you're living in that space right now, or you want to make a change, go after it. Figure it out how you can get to that next level. Ask questions. Find someone who motivates you and say, how did you do that? I don't care. You can ask me questions. I am more than happy to answer them. I'm so sorry about my dog barking too. I think my HelloFresh order came because I forgot to cancel it. Okay, so I just want to say that I always knew I was meant for something more. I just didn't know how to do it until I got curious. So I want you to think about that for a little while. I want you to think about where are you curious at? So for me, I always loved watching other people. There was my friends' moms or their older sisters. Like, I was always very curious about, like, if a mom had her nails done all the time, I'm like, how does she do that? Like, I would paint my nails and then they would chip like 3 hours later, and then I hated it. Like, No, they went and got them done. Like it was amazing. Like but how did they like financially get to be able to do that? How did they find the time to be able to do that? Because that's time consuming to get your nails done. I'm not gonna lie, it's like almost 2 hours for me for like commute and all that stuff. How do you figure that out? So again, I would look at others first, like, and I was very intrigued about figuring out how to be a better and a more beautiful person. Like I always wanted to be that. I always felt like I was very homely and very different. I don't know if it's because I had red hair and most of my friends were blonde or brunettes. I have no idea, but I always figured out how can I try to fit in a little bit more or be a little bit more like that, where I was curious. So I got curious about it instead of getting jealous. And that's a big thing is right now, what you might think of as jealousy is actually you trying to be curious. It's your body trying to say, hey, what do I need to do that, like to get to that level? Like get curious about it. So I want you to think about this action step for a second and get curious instead of getting jealous. You know, we use that and we throw that word around all the time when maybe you're scrolling on social media and you're like, oh my God, well, look at their gorgeous house. I can never have a house like that. She probably has daddy's money or she's probably a sugar mama. Okay, that's fucking rude, first of all, because you probably don't know where they came from. Maybe you do. Maybe they do have daddy's money. Maybe they do have a sugar daddy. But it's also rude to think that, because would you really want someone to think that about you if you were at that level, if you had those things? You know, and I do this myself, and I'm not saying I'm pointing fingers. I'm saying I've done this before. I've been that person of like, yeah, I saw her husband. He's definitely way older than her. I know exactly what's going on here. No, stop. Don't be a mean person. It's not nice. No one likes that. Okay, that's not true. There are a lot of people out there who like that drama and like that kind of camaraderie. I'm not that person anymore. So again, think about this for yourself. Find those areas where you're jealous and get curious about those. Ask yourself, why am I feeling jealousy right now? Is it because maybe you're not seeing the behind the scenes stuff where they're working 12 hours a day on their business or their side businesses or their multiple things that they're doing that you don't see. You only see the highlight reel of social media. So it's confusing to us because we see these small pieces of people's lives and they assume that they don't work very hard. You have no idea. Ask questions, get curious. And most of the time, it's the jealousy comes from your insecurities. Like, that is the biggest thing. When someone is jealous, again, if I were saying, oh, little sugar mama's got this cute house cleaners, all this stuff, whatever, it's like, she's a little bitch, you know what I mean? Because we've all done that before. Maybe you're not that a bad person like I was, maybe not. But point being is those were all because of my own insecurities. What I really, really wanted to say was, wow, that is freaking amazing. I wish I had a house like that. I wish I could have a house cleaner. I wish I could look as beautiful and put together as she does. I wish I could be all that and the same person that I am, and a good person and a kind person. And instead we push this out into this whole negative space of screw her. She's not like, we gotta stop that. Okay. All right. So think about that for yourself. Again, get curious instead of jealous. So the next thing I want to talk about is how motivation, for me, like fanning my flames. And I want to talk about this a little bit more. Like, what do I mean by that? So for me, I didn't start this. I would have never started this journey if I felt like I was at my goal weight. Okay. So I had babies. I assumed that breastfeeding was going to make me skinny because that's what the lactation consultants told me. You'll lose all your baby weight. Okay, I breastfed those things. Those kids sucked me dry, like literally sucked me dry. And I was still fat. And I'm not saying that. And I will use the word fat because that is exactly what I was. I was very overweight. I was very young. I had a baby at 18. So I assumed being young, of course I'm going to bounce back. Of course I can have Honey Nut Cheerios with vanilla ice cream and milk in bed every night because I'm going to bounce back. Okay. Naive little Jessica didn't realize that you still have to eat healthy. Your body changes, your whole body composition, your whole body hormones, all of these things change when you have a baby. And for some people, if your genetics are amazing and you bounce back and you can wear your pre-pregnancy jeans walking out of the hospital, you are actually a freak of nature, which is great for you. But there's a lot of us out here who are like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this down here? I don't know what to do with this. Is this like what the kangaroos have with the pouch where they like put the baby in there? Because what the hell is going on? I don't know. And so I was so confused. I was like, I don't understand why I didn't just bounce back. Like I literally thought I would be fine. Well, come to find out, I've got stretch marks everywhere. Again, it was totally different. So these expectations we have sometimes, set that up to help you and to think of it this way. Again, when I'm talking about fanning flames, so what I did was I got pissed, not at my baby, not at my husband for, not pulling out, not, I'm saying I got pissed at myself. Like, take ownership. Again, no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. And so I got pissed at myself, and not in like let's go into the depression mode state. It was more of a what do I need to do today to get myself out of this situation? What do I need to do to make myself better? And I started exercising. That was the only thing I knew. I was like, I had PE in high school. We did it like almost every day. Maybe I need to move my body more. So that's what I did. Like, think about this for yourself. What do you need to do? If that's like how you get motivated is by getting pissed, then get pissed. It's okay to be mad at yourself. It's okay to be like, wow, I really let myself go. But what am I going to do from here on out to make changes? And don't expect every day to be perfect. I think that's the thing. We don't give ourselves enough grace in the process because we have these high expectations. Again, thinking back to social media, we see people, these before and afters. What you don't see is 18 months of the in-betweens of getting up at 6 a.m. every morning or 4 a.m. or staying up late after your babies go to bed to get your workout in. Like, you don't see the hard stuff. And that's what's really challenging, is that we just expect this like microwave effect of everything. And once you finally realize that that's not going to happen, and give yourself grace and don't get mad, don't get pissed in those little moments when you're like, you know what? I just need to have an ice cream bar today. I have been amazing all week. I have eaten well. I have done my workouts. I need a moment. Have the moment and move on. Give yourself that grace to just be human, okay? Because that happens. Or you're going to be at a birthday party and everybody's eating cupcakes and you're like, oh, it's buttercream icing. That's my favorite. You know what? I'm going to eat the cupcake today, but I'm going to be good 90% of the time after this, because this is a one moment. And you can make a good decision later. It's all about choices. It's all about your mindset, but don't beat yourself up about it. So again, it's okay to get pissed at yourself. It's okay. For me, that was the fuel I needed to move past things. So again, going back to the biggest thing that I've learned is that no one is coming to save me. No one is going to make my life better besides myself. I am the only person who is in control of my choices, my decisions, my mindset, and how I'm going to be tomorrow, the next day, 10 years, 30 years from now. And so there's no magic wand. No one is coming to fix anything. You have to take the action. You took the action today to listen to this because you're trying to find some motivation. What you're most likely looking for is someone to tell you this magic thing where you don't actually have to work hard, and it's not out there. And I wish I could tell you that there was a magic spoonful of yellow goo that you could take that's just going to melt your body fat away. That's not life. You have to work hard at it. You have to work. It is work. It is not easy. And until you can figure that out, it's going to be a struggle for you. Of course you're going to be like, I don't have motivation. Because getting off your ass and stop watching Netflix is really hard sometimes, especially if you're in a negative headspace or maybe you didn't feel well or the baby didn't sleep last night. Like, grinding is going to be hard work. But think of it this way. When you lay your head on your pillow at night, whether you're exhausted or maybe you had a light day or whatever, I don't know what your day looks like. But whenever you lay your head on the pillow at night, and if you think back like, okay, well, what did I do today? What did I accomplish? Aren't you going to feel like 1,000 times better if you can be like, you know what? My workout sucked today because I was tired, but I still did 20 minutes or I still did 10 minutes or I got a half an hour in. It might have sucked. Again, I might have scrolled while I rode on my bike today or while you walked on the treadmill or while you were on a walk, but you still did it. Like, I cannot tell you enough how much exercise is for my mental health and not my physical health. Yeah, physical health is great. It's a great byproduct. But I would literally hate so many people if I did not work out for my mental health every day. That is the one thing I want you to take away from this, is if you can figure out how to squeeze an exercise into your life every single day, it will change your freaking life. 10 minutes is all I'm asking you to do. Just 10 minutes. I need you to try to figure out how to squeeze it into your day. And if you tell me that you don't have 10 minutes to spare every day, I'm going to tell you that you need to reflect on your life and figure out what the fuck you're doing, because there's something wrong in your life if you don't actually have 10 minutes. So I need you to think about that. And I'm not trying to be mean or shitty about it, but I mean, I sit and watch Netflix every once in a while. And if I think, God, don't feel like I accomplished anything today. It's kind of interesting that I watched like 3 episodes of Schitt's Creek. That's like an hour and a half. I could have been a little bit more productive. Like, stop. You can be more productive if you focus on being more productive. Okay. So I'm just going to take a pause, take a breather, because that's a lot to take in right now. And I totally understand that. I want you to just think that I want you to know that I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to motivate you to get off of your ass, because that's all it takes. 10 minutes of getting off your ass every day. Okay. If I can do it, you can do it. So again, I want to go back a little bit to you thinking about your life, your future. You are the only person who can change your life. And I know that's hard to face sometimes. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves, you just know you're not alone in this. Okay. You are not the only person who doesn't feel like they have motivation. It's more about discipline than motivation. So get pissed, because what's the alternative? What is the alternative in your life? What will happen in 5 years if you haven't worked out at all? Or maybe you went on a walk once every year in a while. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You have to be the one to make the change. You have to be the one to be so aware and so focused on, I need to do something, get pissed, and do something about it. So think about this. Here's a couple of questions I want you to reflect on. You can push pause after each one of these, but think about your life in 10 years from now. Okay. For me, I don't want to live in regret. And so when I'm 50 in 12 years, I don't want to think, maybe if my body is failing me, I don't know what will happen in 12 years. I can't predict that. I don't want to know. I don't want to go talk to anybody and have them tell me something. I don't want to know. I don't know what, but I do want to say, think about this. What if you're sitting there at 50 and you're like, yeah, what if I would have tried harder? What if I would have actually done the workouts that I knew I should do? What if I would have actually chose to eat a salad with some grilled chicken instead of eating fried food every time we went out? What if? That word, those 2 words, what if, are literally what have changed my life. So what if you would have gotten up and worked out instead of hitting snooze all those mornings? Think about that. Think about that in a month from now. What if instead of hitting snooze Monday through Friday, you actually get up and do a workout instead? What if? What will happen if you do those things? And what if you push past your excuses and just did the damn thing? You know what's going to happen is you're going to feel more committed to yourself. You're going to feel more confident because you said, I'm going to do this, and then you actually did it. That is like a little confidence wheel. It is just like muscle memory. You have to flex your mindset muscles just like you flex and you work out your actual body. Your mindset, when you consistently say, I'm going to work out for 30 days in a row, and then you do 2 days and you stop. That's like you're building that memory that you cannot complete anything. So when you say, instead, I'm going to work out 3 days this week, and you work out 3 days that week, what do you think that does to your mindset? It is a muscle. You are flexing that muscle. It is building your confidence to be better. Work on that shit. Get out of your own head and figure it out, because life is so much greater on the other side. And I will tell you that from experience, and another thing I like to think about is those moments of perspective that we have in our lives, because tragedy happens sometimes. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. All we can do is focus on the present right now and what those steps are that you can take to be your best self. Perspective always drives your performance. So I remember several years ago when I got the call from my dad that my parents had been in an accident. And I don't like to think about it very often, because I can hear and I can feel every moment of that memory like it's happening again. So I don't talk about it very much, but what if I wouldn't have told my parents that I love them before they left my son's baseball game? what if, and I don't want you I don't want you to get in the negative headspace here of sad things, because we all have them, but ask yourself those what if questions. So that's another action item for you to do. Reflect on them. Think about it. Think about, where can I be better? Where can I grow? Where can I measure in a month from now that I've actually made some progress? So for me, daily motivation lies in being that future focused person. So I'm constantly thinking about where and what I can do today to set myself up for success in the future. Like, I have to say that's probably my biggest thing, is that I'm very, very future focused. So I know that exercising daily is very good for me. And so that's what I try to do every day. And some days it doesn't happen. Most days I still get at least 10 minutes in, because I've created that habit over the last 15 years. 15 years, remember. That is a long time, okay? So I don't expect you to, it's not a flip of a switch. It's going to take time for you to build this muscle and create these habits for yourself. But I will tell you that, if you know me and you know my story, I was an avid exerciser. I exercised, I did programs. I love working out. I love going to the gym. I love, working on my Peloton. I love my Beachbody workouts. I love all of these things. And so when something tragic happened to me, again, we're so busy taking care of everyone else, sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. So when that happened to me and I fell skiing, I was so grateful that I had the physical strength. I've never heard anybody say crutches were easy. I will tell you, I could have ran a marathon on crutches a week after I've never been on crutches in my entire life. But because I built up upper body strength, I had no issues with crutches. Every once in a while, my hands got a little sensitive, but I was able to move around very, very well with crutches. And I absolutely say that is because of all the work I put in before. Again, I can't predict the future, what's going to happen tomorrow, a year from now, 12 years from now, whenever. But I can figure, like, if I can just be the best that I can every single day, then hopefully when those shitty things happen to us, which I love to say this, when you have these curveballs coming at you, you can either dodge them or they can hit you in the chest. And for me, I would much rather be able to dodge them than have something smack me right in the face and knock me down where I can't get back up. Okay? Think about that for yourself today. How can you be the best version of yourself? So today I want you to think about that. Be future focused. What happens if you don't eat right and exercise today? Probably nothing. But 10 years from now, maybe, because you made good choices most of the time, your life might look a little bit differently. It just might. All right, so I'm going to recap a couple actionable steps for you. That's really what I've got for you today. If this lit a fire in you, I do hope that you share it with somebody that you love. Share it with your friend, your bestie, your mom, your grandma, whomever. I swear a lot, so maybe don't share it with your church friends who might be offended, because I'm sorry. I really am. I need to work on my swearing. I just like it. It's colorful adjectives. So, okay, let's recap here really quickly. Get curious instead of jealous. All right, simple enough. If you find yourself feeling jealous, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? I found that my jealousy was not because of the other person. It was my own insecurities coming out in negative ways. So think about that. The second thing I want you to ask yourself, those what if questions. What if? What if I do this? What if I don't do this? What is the impact it will have? What if? So reflect on those things. Think about them. Where can I be better? Ask yourself questions. That is finding out who you are and why you do the things you do. Literally the best thing that has literally changed my life. And then be future focused. That's number 3. So what happens if you don't eat right and exercise today? Yeah, again, probably nothing, but 10 years from now, it could change the whole course of your life. It really, really could. All right. And then I want to recap from a couple other things. One thing I've been doing in my life that's been really helpful is tracking 3 positive things that happen every day. I write them down. I have a notepad right next to my bed. I write down those 3 wins so that I can look back, and when, I don't feel productive, I'm like, you know what? I did this, this, and this. I did win today. I'm awesome. All right. And then I also, again, remind you to share this with someone you love, or reach out to me and tell me what you thought about this. Was this helpful for you? Again, I am here to help you be the best version of yourself. And if I can do that in this space, then my work is done. All right. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you were here. I hope you have a great rest of your day.